I have to adjust the handle on that so often it gets loose. So I have to come in and do a little wrench work on it. Wrench work, yes. Wee tree, I have a wrench today.
Yeah, just see all, and he has that, and he has his toy wrenches. All right, so anyway, did we already do a greeting? We don't have an official greeting like Big Bear Homestead, so
come on in to the Homestead.
Look, I'm smiling.
Network and Rain Country Homestead's living room. Welcome everybody to our channel and to our chat. I hope we're entertaining enough to where you can either laugh at us or learn something.
So, oh, sorry, I was distracted. What you should probably do is pop out your chat and then shut the rest of that so it doesn't draw anymore stuff. Okay. I'm being Miss Bossy, of course, sorry. Just try, we have to make sure that we're doing as much as we can, because I noticed we're red already. Yeah, Sherry Terry says we're freezing. And it's probably our end, because we're red right now. It's going to be, and just, you know, if you're new to our show, just know that our internet's the best we can get. And it's going to go in and out.
All right, we got green.
Now it's green all of a sudden. See, you shut that.
See, I fixed it.
You fixed it for the moment. I just need this note right here that you covered up. You can use this. Looks like you took notes too. Here, you can have your own notes. All right, so greetings all, and I want to start off, which I probably need to make it a habit of this. Oh, sorry. Look at Comodo's comment there. The squeak. Sorry all who are not involved in the chat and you're watching this later. I'll try not to keep doing that. So I want to start off with a disclaimer. I am not a doctor. So nothing I say when I'm recommending herbs or talking about herbs is meant to replace professional medical advice. All right, so got to get that out of the way. I'm sure there's a lot more I could ramble on. I've heard disclaimers that go on like this. I don't know all that stuff by heart. Just know I'm not trying to pretend to be a doctor. And I'm just
what works for us.
Yeah.
Everybody's body is just a little bit different. Everybody's circumstances are a little bit different.
So this is what we're doing. and so mostly I'm sharing with you my experience and what we've what I've been studying on my own time. So I say I'm not an herbalist in the fact that I don't have any kind of degree in this, but I tell you, I've learned so much more about everything that I've ever taken time to study than I ever learned in college, in high school, no matter what. I mean, I've learned it all just by self-study, and it can be done. So one website I want to recommend off the bat, and I think I said this one last week, is herbwisdom.com, I believe is what it's called. I have another note somewhere. It's over here. I don't think I have the website on this. Anyway, that's a really good place to go to for information on your herbs. As I said before, you have to be careful what sites you go to. You want to make sure you're getting a good site that's going to give you all the best information, including, and that's why I keep coming back to this book. I mean, websites are great, but having hard copies are a must. And the more I get into this book, the more I'm very, very pleased with it, and I want to recommend it even more.
And the more of a food Nazi she becomes.
The more of a food Nazi I become, the more I learn. Yes.
Teresa Dean.
Wine.
She really has backed up severely on the ice cream. So it's pretty tough around here.
I make him homemade popsicles, creamsicles.
I'm trying to get everybody to feel sorry for me.
You've all seen the video. Well, most of you have probably seen the video. And I just made him some orange creamsicles with organic oranges and organic cream and organic sugar. Okay, so tonight's herb, and I'm not going to talk about this all night because we're going to talk about other things as well. So that's why I'm trying to make it about half the show about the herb at most and the rest about everything else. So we're talking about valerian root, and if you happen to have your book with you and you saw my video earlier, starts on page 208. And that's a picture of it. Here, let me put the picture of the plant. That's what it looks like. It's very pretty. I am not currently growing this plant, but I did order some seed. and will be growing this soon because I am so pleased with the results I've had with it and with everything that I've been learning from it. So I might put that up again later if anybody else wants to see that picture again. But I want to share with you that when I first got, and I have a link in the description box below of where I got the very root that I ordered. It's organic valerian root. And it was about a year or two ago, I made a tincture because Mr. Rain started having a lot of problems with sleep. And so I thought, I'm going to try the valerian tincture. And then every now and then, of course, we all have those nights where our minds are just going and going. And so I looked up herbs and sure enough came up with valerian root. Made a tincture, forgot about it for the longest time, and then finally remembered, oh, you know, I used it once, knocked me right out, went to sleep. Well, recently I've just been under a lot of stress from various sources, and I've been finding, I even see it in my videos now, I've been finding myself doing this, just hunching up my shoulders and getting and the more I do it, the more my shoulders get sore. The more my shoulders get sore, the more I do it. And to the point that I was even doing it in my sleep, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night, just my shoulders hurting so much. And I remembered the valerian root, I mean, I couldn't get back to sleep. So I remembered the valerian root tincture, and I took it that one night, it was earlier in this last week, and within minutes, I felt my shoulders begin to relax. And when I went back to bed and I laid down, and I swear it was just a few minutes, I was asleep just like that, and I woke up the next day feeling great. That's the thing that's really great about your natural things like this. You don't wake up feeling groggy. You actually get a good night's sleep. Now, valerian root doesn't work by making you sleepy. It works like licorice root does, and I believe lemon balm and hops. But valerian root actually calms your nerves and literally does relax the muscles. I got to looking this up, and I probably won't read all this stuff, but it says in the book, it says on herbwisdom.com, and then I went and looked up some other herbalist videos on YouTube, and they all say the same things. So when you take a prescription sleeping pill, this is what I learned a while back from Dr. Bergman. John Bergman, he's on YouTube, I highly recommend his channel, is that when you take those prescription sleeping pills, you are lucky well, I don't believe in luck. If it's, you know, the best it's going to work for you it's going to give you 11 minutes more sleep per night on average. All right, so, and that sleep is not good sleep. You don't get all the proper sleep cycles you need when you're on sleeping pills. You might get a few minutes more sleep, but it's not good sleep. That's why you wake up when you're taking sleeping pills feeling like crud. And groggy, and you can't get moving. I don't know. I've never actually, it's buffering real bad. Okay. Let me know if it gets really, really bad and I need to reboot. I'm going to go ahead and keep talking so there's no dead airspace. And I'll keep watching. Thank you, Wee. I know it goes in and out. Anyway, that's why you wake up groggy. That's one of the reasons why you wake up groggy taking prescription sleeping pills, is because you're not getting proper sleep. You're not getting the sleep you need. Okay, thanks, Teresa. So, and sure enough, I found in here, I think it was on the Herb Wisdom. And just to let you know, okay, look how I am right now. I took some valerian root tincture just to test it out middle of the day, a couple times today, and once about a half an hour before the show. And that stuff works within minutes. I feel relaxed. I'm actually calm, but I'm still energetic. It doesn't take away your energy, and it doesn't take away your alertness, but it calms your muscles and it gives you good sleep. And there's other things that it does, but I wanted to read to you, well, like right here it says, it is calming without exerting too sedative an effect and is practically non-addictive. It is a valuable treatment for insomnia and the sedative effect due to the, okay, don't ask me to pronounce this, valipotriates and the isovaleric acid. Okay, there was something, 2 double-blind studies have demonstrated that valerian extract can significantly reduce the amount of time it takes people to fall asleep without changing the normal stages of sleep. So that's incredibly, incredibly important. It's not just about how many minutes or hours of sleep you get. It's the quality of sleep you get. It's so incredibly important to understand that. So again, I'm going to also recommend going to John Bergman's YouTube page and then do a search on his deep sleep videos. You will learn so much. So if you're having problems with insomnia at any time, which I think we all do from time to time, because we all go through some different kinds of stresses and stuff, look that up and listen to everything he has to say. It's very thorough, very educational. Okay, let me get through a few more things and then I'll take some questions. So there was something else. Okay, right here it says valerian does not impair driving ability and produces no morning hangover effect. It is a gentle relaxant and effective sleep aid. It's also, and everywhere I looked, it's one of the safest nervines you can take. The safest and virtually non-addictive. Now, if you were to go to those MD pages that give you the indications on the herbs, you're going to find all this scary stuff. Of course you are. But those sleeping pills that the doctor gives you are 100, I would say 1,000, maybe 1,000,000 times more scary than taking valerian root. It's nothing to be afraid of. All right, so here is my tincture. And again, I've shown this before, I believe. I found these really great swing top beer bottles at a garage sale. And so this is made with vodka. I figure this, because of the type of tincture it is, to make it with vodka, you only need a little bit.
You'd like that, Grizz.
Yeah. And yeah, and so storing, and I did just record a video, and I'll be putting it up in a few days, of me making a new batch of a deep sleep tincture, which is valerian root, licorice root, and lavender flowers. It's my own recipe I just made up. And I talk more about the bottles and what you should use and all that. So watch for that coming out. Okay, are there any, did you catch any questions? And if there's any questions that flew by that I did not answer, I think I only saw one that I actually answered. Please post it again in all caps so I can see that. Anyway, go ahead, Patrick, I'm sorry.
There's no real questions I see. I'm just watching everybody else and Grizz.
And Grizz cracking jokes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, life of the party.
Okay, so I had to go read one of his comments, and okay, that's why I'm laughing. All you people who are not able to participate in the chat and are not watching this live, I'm sorry.
Where does valerian root grow?
You know, good question, Cockeyed Homestead. Let me find this, because I'm not growing it yet, so I'm hoping it grows here. I always just take my chances anymore. So it is an herb. I'll show you this picture here. It's probably not as good to see. I'll put the other picture up in a bit. These leaves on this one look very different than the picture that I posted. So there's obviously different varieties. Let me see if it says in here. Let's see, growing. It says easy to grow perennial. Yay, perennials. We love perennials. Which I figured it was, because it's the root that is used typically. I don't know if any other parts are used, because I'm still learning about the plant. I just have the root. See, it says it does well in a variety of soil conditions and temperatures. So it sounds to me like a lot of the other kinds of herbs like feverfew and all that stuff, you can probably grow it just about anywhere, is what I'm guessing. So I don't know if somebody can look up herbwisdom.com. That was, like I said, that's the web page I got this information from, that I was reading from there, and then I've got the book. And I keep ending up at herbwisdom.com when I'm looking up herbs. Not that there aren't other great sites out there. I just keep finding that one just seems to be very consistent with really great information. Let me see if there's something else. It does get to, it can be about 5 feet tall, so that's as tall as me. 3 to 5 feet tall. Let's see here. It's hardy in zone 4 or even zone 3 if given some winter protection. So we're considered zone 8, but which is weird because Danny and Wanda are also in zone 8, and I know our weather is very, very different. So zone 8 maritime. Valerian grows in my front yard, but I don't know if it's the same species. And ginger rose, that's definitely something to look into. It's sort of like comfrey. From what I understand about comfrey, you have two main species. There are two main types, the one with the purple and the one with the white flowers. We have the purple ones. And they say the ones with the white flowers are the ones you can actually eat. The ones with the purple are, but at any rate, when it comes to their topical benefits, they are the same. So, yeah, see, go for green also in zone 8. So that's interesting, because when I compare our conditions to where all you guys live, it's nothing the same. But that's what it says.
Right, but we're kind of in a pocket. We're in what they call the rainforest. So,
yeah.
The zone 8 is kind of a broader picture of, little subclimates that we have. So, yeah.
Yeah, and y'all know Paul Gauchi from, the Back to Eden Garden.
Yeah, they get about an average of 7 inches of rain.
Yeah.
Per year, and we get about 120 inches of rain a year. So, within zone 8, there's a whole bunch of microclimates within that.
Yeah.
We get a lot more cloud cover. If I had the same solar setup in Squim, I could probably start my own utility.
Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, it's funny how you can be so close to certain other towns and have completely different grow. Even in one town, you may find that in just one little small area, your neighbor may be able to grow things that you can't.
Homestead Remembrance asked the question.
There was a good question about, I saw it here, now I can't remember what I was looking up. Somebody's question.
Fresh and or dried root for tincture?
Okay, they were asking about what parts. All I know is the root itself, and so far that's all I've been able to find. I don't think the leaves and the flowers are usable, but if anybody knows anything, I don't know if WeTree has any answers on that about and I'm trying to find it real quick here. It was one of those things I didn't think to look and see what parts were used.
Well, there was a question as far as
what was that?
Whether or not you could use fresh or dried root for tinctures, and I would venture to say yes.
You could. Thanks, WeTree, for the herb wisdom. There's that link, people. So I would bookmark that one. It's a really good place to look up herbs. What I've said before from what I've learned, you can do fresh herbs, but to make a tincture, however, you're going to get the most out of your tincture if you use a dried herb. So, same thing with making a tea. I use fresh a lot when I make tea in the summertime when I've got fresh peppermint, and I'll just use it fresh, and it makes a really good tea. But especially for tinctures, because you're trying to get the most out, and it's already you want to get the liquid, the moisture out of the plant first, so that when you go to make your tincture, whether it be with vinegar or alcohol or even glycerin, you've already got the moisture out of there, so it's going to pull all that good medicinal benefits out into your solvent, whatever solvent you prefer to use. So, okay, see if there's any. I'm not seeing any other questions. Southeast, okay. Somebody else, I thought there was another question I hope I didn't miss. So, anyway, I guess I'll see if I can find something else here that I saw.
Hey, while she's looking around, everybody, can somebody check to see, check the interest level on our channel, on their chat, to,
How many people we got?
yeah.
Because
you
we
know,
never get to see that.
We're just kind of curious as to whether or not you like our content, how we're doing. Any questions, comments on that end?
Okay, here was something else I wanted to read. I'll just read this section in here on medicinal uses. Valerian is a remedy primarily for stress, tension, insomnia, and nervous system disorders. So we already kind of covered that, but let me go on. Studies show that it works by depressing activity in the central nervous system and relaxing the smooth muscles of the uterus, colon, and bronchial passages. So this can also work really good. Like in her book here, when you go to the next page, she has a recipe right here for bronchial relaxer formula that is licorice root, valerian root, cinnamon bark, and ginger root. And then she has her deep sleep tincture is valerian root, hops, lavender, and then of course your alcohol for your solvent. So, and then tension-free formula is the valerian root, hawthorn berry, and lemon balm leaf. So you can make all kinds of different blends depending on what you need it for. I decided to sort of make up my own blend, and knowing that licorice root also helps you sleep, but also helps with as a bronchial relaxer. You know, I figured that would be also very beneficial when you have a cold or something like that. So, okay, 54. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, sorry. Oh, and by the way, I want to show you my mug. Some of you may recognize this. It was one of my favorite mugs on their site. Does anybody know? I know there's a lot of people that know this place very well. Does anybody recognize that picture? It's one of my very favorite mugs. Oh, we got trolls? Did we finally get trolls? Mutant trolls. Anyway, I'm curious to see if anybody knows where that... Okay, so I typically, what I don't grow already, I get on... I usually find there's a couple different places. Sometimes I go to Mountain Rose Herbs. Very excellent place to get some good non-GMO organic herbs. All their stuff is organic, and it's actually located in Oregon. So, is there a tincture that settles my wife's nerves? I think you need to give her some Valerian. She may have to take it by the gallon, Grizz.
Hey, Grizz, you have to go to the root of the problem.
Okay. I was going to say something else. Oh, darn it. Yeah, okay. Rabbit trail, too. I forgot what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Darn it. I got distracted. Okay, I'm sorry. Somebody help get me back on track. There was a question.
Somebody asked
the ingredients. I'm sorry. Okay, there it is. I typically get a lot of my stuff from Amazon because Amazon carries Frontier brand and Star West brand, and most of their stuff is organic. I always look for organic, and I always buy it by the pound because you're going to get the best price by the pound. And you can quite often get their stuff. I found out I can get the valerian root on Subscribe and Save. So since I want to get more, since I don't know how long it's going to take for me to build up enough root of my own homegrown stuff, I want to stock up on that stuff. So and then when you do Subscribe and Save and you've got 5 items or more, you can get a 15% discount. So I love Amazon. And of course, most of the stuff I can't get locally. Hi, Bob Homestead. And you know, I've been really bad. Hi, Deep South Homestead.
Yeah,
not saying hi to everyone. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, I'll have to be patient with me.
I am seeing you, though.
I'm technically challenged, so that finger right there might hit 2 keys at once, and that's the only finger that I have that knows how to type.
He always has fat fingers.
But everybody's welcome. We appreciate you showing up and being here. Even you, Grizz.
So, Sherry, are you asking me? Are you asking me that question? And what are you asking? Are you asking where you can get that? because if you're asking where you can get it, I would pretty much guarantee you can find that on either Amazon or Mountain Rose Herbs, if that's what you're looking for. Oh, and now that I see Sherry Cherry, just reminded me of another thing. Now, James cannot take valerian root for a calming effect. And I did come across that in looking this up, that it can have a reverse effect. So it could, though it doesn't take, you know, if you need it to relax you, it doesn't take away your energy, which I'm finding right now. But yeah, I remember learning this in one of my advanced psychology classes in college, and that was that, you know, we have different body chemistries. And so if you're someone who if you drink caffeine and you find it calms you, then you probably wouldn't want to take valerian root to calm you, because it's going to work more like caffeine. Some people's, their chemical makeup, or whatever you want to call it, has things work in reverse. So yeah, I know people that cannot have caffeine if they're if they want it to help keep them awake. It will put them to sleep. So anyway, so Sherry, I don't know if I answered your question, so, and if it was even directed at me, but if not, go ahead and ask again, and I'll see what I can do. I don't really know much about that particular one I think you're asking about. Now, I do grow, or I have grown, anise hyssop. I don't remember all of the health benefits to it, but it is a really nice, it makes a really nice tea. But then even though it's a perennial, I could not get it to come back. It started to come back last year, or the previous summer, and then and then this year it didn't come back at all. So I went with Korean hyssop, which is very similar and more hardy, especially in a place like ours. So if you're looking for a licorice flavored plant, it does have medicinal benefits. I wish I could remember what all they are. That, you know, and it's beautiful. It's a kind of a cone-shaped flower, and purple, the bees love it, you know, all that kind of stuff. So Karina, then valerian root may not work for you as far as, you know, as far as sleep. You just drink your strong coffee. Did anybody figure out where this mug was from? I'll tell you in a minute if nobody gets it. I'm thinking as many people that are on this page that know a certain place really well, they should know where that mug came from, but maybe not. Anyway, it's one of my very favorite mugs. I love all the carrots on there. They're so pretty. It's painted, and it's a nice, good-sized mug. It's huge. Of course, I probably make it look bigger because I'm not a very big person at 5 foot tall.
People can almost read that when you turn that around there like that, but
I'm trying not to show the name.
our picture's not so good, so they probably can't see it.
Yeah. Okay, so we can move on to other topics unless if there's any other questions. But before I do, I'll show you that picture one more time for people coming in late. You can look up more pictures, you know, search images on your browser. Some valerian has a pink flower, a more pinkish type flower. I believe the valerian seed I ordered is going to be white like this. And I got my valerian seeds from the same place I got this mug. That's why I figured some people would figure it out. Baker Creek. People. Sorry. You probably don't go look at mugs and t-shirts on there. I do.
She's kind of weird that way. She likes seeds. Somebody asked
everybody knows Baker
where to
Creek.
get St. John's wort seeds.
A wort on St. John?
Mm-hmm.
No, anyway, no. I don't know. I don't grow. Okay.
Dried or fresh is fine, and tinctures.
I would suggest looking up, I don't grow it myself, and I've never bought the seed, but I do believe that Baker Creek has those ones. And whatever Baker Creek doesn't have, I also find on Amazon. I can find good organic seeds on Amazon. So, and it was funny because last year I ordered ground cherry seeds, and I could not find them at Baker Creek. Now Baker Creek has the ground cherry seeds, so you can get those there. And I also ordered tomatillo seeds because I saw how well the ground cherries grew here. Then that means next year I should be able to make a really good green salsa. Because tomatoes, regular tomatoes, don't grow great here unless you have them in a greenhouse. But I'm thinking if tomatillos grow as good as ground cherries do, then I'm gonna have tomatillos coming out my ears. I mean, you should see how many ground cherries are just laying on the ground making more plants out there. It's crazy. It's crazy. They're gonna be coming up in my grass, and I'm to the point I don't care. I don't care if all my herbs reseed in my grass and they come up. Whatever. If I need to mow them down and use them as mulch, I'm cool with that. Because then I have lots and lots of great herbs out there, and I never have to worry about replanting them or buying more seed once they're established. Yeah, Baker Creek, B-A-K-E-R.
Huh? What did I do?
Backer Creek.
I'm trying to throw everybody off. I told you. Not the left finger, but the right finger.
The actual URL for them is rareseeds.com. So I'm not really sure why they have a different URL than their name, but whatever. So Rain got some purple tomatillo. Oh, cool. I thought about trying the purple ones too, but I went for the giant looking green ones because those ones just had the most ratings on them and 5 stars. So I kind of also compare what areas people are growing them in, and if they're growing them in areas that are like farther north like we are, then I'm like, okay, I think that might work for us. Okay. Yeah, so what else I got? So I ordered Valerian, tomatillo. What else? Other seeds did I order? I know in my previous order I ordered soapwort because I'm really anxious about trying to grow soapwort and seeing how well it does for washing clothes. So even though I make my own laundry soap, I still experiment with it every time I make it. I do something different. Like this next time I'm going to do what Stacy does, and I'm going to make a powdered one. I've been meaning to do that and see if I like that better. I think the powdered might actually work better for me in my off-grid laundry station. So that makes a good segue into, okay, by the way, can you grow watermelon in your area? I think some people have. Grizz says yes, watermelon does good in Northwest. I haven't tried it yet.
I just answered that question.
I've tried growing some. Oh, sorry, Patrick. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Sorry. He says yes. I've never tried growing watermelon. I mean to someday. Yeah, soapwort looks really pretty. So I'm anxious about trying it and just seeing how it works because it does have saponins in it, and you can use it as a soap. I think you'd use it for more gentle, things. Maybe not for like your dirty Carhartts. We get a lot of those around here. So, okay, I'm going to show you the updated version of my wash station rack. So here, oh, yeah, here comes the picture of that. Actually, that's the wrong one. Hang on. I'll show you that too, but here we go.
Oh, you left the cat out of the bag, Mom.
Yeah, okay. So when you saw this last time, it didn't have the little valance around the bottom. And it just so happens I picked up that valance for like 25 cents last summer at a garage sale because I thought it was cute and I just knew I'd be able to use the fabric for something. But I never did anything with it, thankfully, because it was the perfect look and perfect size to put under there. And the reason I have that there now is, let's see here, I can take this off and go back up here to hide this mess. This is the drain hose. It's one of those, what do you call it?
Yeah, it's an expandable hose. You apply pressure to it and it expands.
Yeah. And so
drains kind of slow, but it's easy to tuck away underneath.
Exactly.
Underneath the wash station, so it doesn't, hang out in the middle of the floor like that.
And so if you look close where the black hose there connects, it's connected to a splitter to the 2 white hoses that go to each of the tubs. And the wash tub is on the left and the rinse tub is on the right. And so then when I'm ready to drain either one, I usually drain one at a time. I find it's best to do it that way. And then I just take this hose and I run it out the door and just let it drain outside. Right now there's nothing out there I need to water because unlike some of you, we've been getting tons and tons and tons and tons of rain. And so nothing out there needs to be watered. But in the summertime, we'll have it set up outside, and I'll be able to use the water to water some of my vegetation out there, like on the deck and whatnot, like my blueberries and grapes and so on. So then there's the other picture that I accidentally showed first.
It's also been raining here.
Yeah, and it has been raining. Did I say it's been raining? Okay, so the little metal piece you see hanging off the ringer, we showed that a couple weeks ago or so, was that little piece of flashing that Patrick molded to fit under there, so that the water, and it goes around both sides, it goes into both tubs, so that when I'm running clothes through there, the water doesn't run straight down but runs back into each of the tubs, and it works really, really good. And then plus having a pan straight under there to catch anything that may miss. Now the little metal rack was something we just came up with, so that when I've got, since this side here in this picture that you're seeing is the wash tub side, and sometimes I still have clothes soaking in there, and I'm wanting to, and I've got clothes in the rinse side, and I'm wanting to wring the clothes from the rinse side out, I can actually lay them on top of that rack. If it's a real long piece, like my long skirts or jeans, or even sometimes my aprons or sheets, I can wring it through there. I can lay it on that rack and wring it through there, and I don't have to worry about it falling into the dirty soapy water. And yeah, so that, and then I can just grab it from the other side. I'd like to find another rack like this to put on the other side, so I can just let it fall onto that. And then of course the water will just drain down into the tub instead of, we tried a board, but of course what happened was the water wanted to drain over the sides of the board. You know, it kind of overflowed a little bit and then onto the floor. So,
which I kind of anticipated. I just kind of wanted to see how well that would work for her to, you know, place a wet article of clothing on that board so it wouldn't go back into the wash water.
yeah.
But yeah, the idea was to make some a dowel rack of sorts after we went through some testing, some trial testing, and to see what worked best for that particular application. But we, like I say, I don't throw much away. That if I see it, well, that could be useful for something, I'll go ahead and tuck it in a corner. And this happened to be just a little rack. I think it's for maybe a camp stove or something.
No
It's a smaller rack that actually just fit just inside the tub there, so that worked pretty good for her.
If we ever have anything like that stops working and it isn't good, but it has a rack in it, we save the racks, because rack you can
make smokers or anything with
our
them.
first camp trailer was a little 1978.
Yes.
Yeah, and he used some old grill racks and made a cool old shampoo holder and stuff for the bathroom, and he's just done so many cool things with stuff like that. So somebody said, oh, Susan said, I thought Washington, the state, was dry. Now that's funny that you say that, because a lot of people think Washington state is wet because they know Seattle rains.
Are you east of the mountains or west of the mountains? And there's a big difference.
There's a huge difference. Washington is bipolar. It's on one side, it has 4 distinct seasons, and the summers are very hot and dry. Maybe not very hot compared to some of you southern people, but very hot and dry compared to where we are. You get onto the west side of the Cascades, and it is pretty wet, and we live in the wettest of all of it. Seattle people don't know what rain is. I'm telling you this because I lived in Seattle for 2 years. Seattle gets 50 inches of rain tops per year. We can get as much as 160 inches per year. Right now our annual average is at 120. When I first came here, it was a gross, meaning it was 144 inches. So it's actually backed off since I've lived here, and I've been here for 29 years, something like that. So let's see, I came here 28 years. I came here when I was 22. So yeah, yes, Palmetto, exactly. So, but yeah, where I grew up in central Washington, very hot and dry. Hi, Bandana Grandma.
Hey, Bandana Grandma.
She's late. Demerit.
That's right.
No, look at me. How many times am I late to people's shows? It's
taxes.
You
We need to collect taxes from people who are late.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just kidding.
I was thinking.
There's another question on there. Oh, Tim asked a question about Ed. I'm not sure what the question meant. Let's see.
No, I don't think Susan. I don't think the valerian root causes hot flashes. This is called being 50 years old right here.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Okay, what did you say? Tim asked something.
Yeah, and I forgot what I got. I got derailed.
Oh,
there.
somebody asked how the chicken coop's coming along.
Oh, it's not. Right now,
Rain is coming along.
We're at a little bit of an impasse. We're trying to focus a little bit more on inside work. I'm down to doing concrete floors in there. I got the concrete footings and stem walls done around 3 sides of the greenhouse, and I believe Heidi had posted some videos of me working on that.
Yes.
And that's all going to be hand mixed. So I've kind of,
An arc.
I'm like, I'm not sure exactly how to get a continuous pour there on a area that's 10 by 8 by 10 and still be able to screed that off and still maintain a wet edge in mixing all that out of a wheelbarrow. So yeah, I could probably call a concrete truck from probably 2 hours away for not a whole lot of concrete. So it's kind of the dividing line of, well, maybe I can section off in sections and then and pour small sections at a time and still have it turn out real smooth. I'm kind of my own enemy in that way. I'm kind of a perfectionist and in some things, and concrete, once you pour it, there it is. There's no going back after that. So I'm kind of in a head scratching mode, and the winter's setting in, so that's kind of put on hold for a while. But yes, we are gonna hopefully get chickens this next spring, and we're gonna be moving forward on the chicken pen here. I want to be all set up for chickens. I raised chickens when I was younger.
It's actually
and
not
we
flannel,
actually
Sherry.
had quite a bit of chickens when I was younger, with my pops there.
I'll be right back.
And so we plan on getting them. We plan on getting them this spring, but I don't want to grab chickens and not be ready to have a good place for them to stay. So that's definitely in the works.
Okay, Cody. Sorry, I had to open the door. I'm dying here.
Mama is
And this shirt isn't
burning
flannel,
up,
but
so she opened up the door. We got a fire blazing, so we're burning up firewood just as quick as you can pack it in, and we got the front door open.
yeah. This shirt actually is not. It's not the shirt that. Yeah. Teresa knows, right? Yes. I think that deep freeze that you were talking about, Teresa. I think I need one of those. Okay. There was another question. Or something. Oh, I wanted to say about the chicken coop. So yes, if you go to, I have a playlist called Mr. Rain's Projects. I think it's in that one. There's a couple about the chicken coop. If it's not in that playlist, it's in Homestead Happenings. Those were some of the first videos I was putting up. See, I've only been doing this channel since August, so we have quite a few videos. So people think we've been doing this for a long time, but I've been since I started, I've been pretty much putting a video up almost every day. So
the camera pretty much follows us around the house and outside. So in case there's some new folks watching, I'm over there kind of helping my son as well on his place. I like doing things twice. So today I was over there and installing a pick-a-watt heater, a cadet wall heater. It's got a little fan in it and stuff. They used to have a baseboard in there, so we jerked that out. And I go to cut a hole in the wall because I got in a hurry because I was trying to make it here on time for the live stream. And lo and behold, behind where I cut was some vent piping, some ABS vent piping for the washer and dryer setup, which is on the other side of the wall. Now, if I would have been marginally intelligent, I would have went in the other room and kind of sized up, well, okay, well, there's where the 220 comes in for the dryer, and there's where the drain comes in for the, the wash machine, and there's the vent line that goes out to, anyway. So I cut the hole in there and patched that back up. I videotaped all that, and I'll have to admit my sin. Show
Susan,
everybody
I'm
that
like this all the time.
I definitely made a mistake. So I went ahead and cut a new hole where I had access, and everything's in better shape now. But I just barely made it here for the live chat.
Now I'm a very energetic person by nature. So, and this is why I wanted to try the Valerian root before I went on the show to double check to make sure, because I know it relaxed me and put me right to sleep. My muscles eased up and the pain went away. And I'm like, okay, so let's check and make sure it's not going to, make me sleepy or whatever, and see how I get through the show. And I'm just as hyper as I always am for these shows. That's just the way I am. You guys never saw me in my dance performances back when I used to do the big dance shows, and I did everything. I made the costumes, I painted the backdrops, I got in there and danced with the students. When I wasn't out there dancing with them, I was directing from backstage. I tried to get people to run the lights and the curtains and the sound, but sometimes I had to do some of that myself too. And then Patrick did all the filming of it. So this is me. So what I'm proving to you is the Valerian root did nothing to take away my energy, and yet I'm relaxed. I mean, my muscles, my shoulders are relaxed, and it's just nice because, like I said, for a couple of weeks more than a couple of weeks, they've just been really tense and achy, and I finally remembered the Valerian root, and I'm like, I got to try that. And at the time, I didn't even know it was actually considered a muscle relaxer. But after I read up on it again, I'm like, well, if it's calming, it should relax the muscles. And I tell you, I swear, 5 minutes, and my muscles I just kind of felt this. I don't know how to describe it. It was wonderful.
So Teresa Dean says she can heat up a whole apartment complex with her hot flashes. And Grizz says when he got hooked up with his wife, she just started menopause, and she's been doing it for 32 years.
Oh my goodness. That's an awful long time.
It might be a tongue-in-cheek, but hey, Grizz, do you think maybe you might be the cause of that hot flash?
Yeah, the one constant hot flash. I wouldn't. Yeah, okay, whatever. Anyway, I keep wondering, there's got to be a way to take that heat and produce some kind of energy out of it. There must be. There's got to be a way to do it. Like you do with the wood stove.
With my my alternate energy, I can hook up wind power, and I thought about hooking that up to her. But if you can also hook up the water source or anything, I'm thinking, I've been scratching my head, and if I could just encompass her head with
awesome.
With some sort of device to capture all that energy and heat, we'd be able to run our town with.
I hope aliens had invaded my brain. I actually thought I was going to get away with not having to deal with these. And then they, because I was already to that point. But then all of a sudden, bam, they just started happening a couple months ago. And it's like, yay, I guess I will. But you know what? It's pretty much all I've had to deal with, and it's nice. I don't have depression. Yes, I get anxious, but that's something from the outside. That's just a lot of other issues with my mom. I don't know if some of you know about my mom, but she's not in good shape. So if you think to pray for her, it's been a rough road, and some other things we've had to deal with. So that was the reason for the tension and the stress. Anyway, copper coiled. See, I was thinking that too, Tim. Did you see the comment from Simple Life about the great job?
I just thanked her for
Okay,
that.
cool.
Yeah, we all appreciate your guys' comments. It
Yeah.
means a lot to us. That kind of keeps us motivated.
Hi,
I've
Southwind.
said some of that in various return comments. We try to get to everybody because it just means a lot to us when you guys check out our content. It's like, we just never knew that this was gonna, take off like it's taken off, and such a warm and fuzzy community. We appreciate the the community we got here. So
Well, we've got about 8 more minutes, and I got a couple more questions. Thank you, Teresa, and you know the other half of it too. And so both those things. I just don't want to go into too much detail. Just keep my mom in prayers, and our whole family and my siblings and all. So Cockeyed Homestead, do I have anything for I know the word, I can't get it out right now. And nerve damage. You know, I would guess, since I'm talking about the valerian root, that would have some help. Now, one thing I should say, that again, you really want to look into each of these for yourself, and there are going to be precautions on anything, and you shouldn't take, like, obviously I know you're not pregnant, but if you're pregnant or nursing, you should not take valerian root. And if you're you shouldn't take it for like big doses for a long period of time. However, and I'm assuming this might be Joe asking me this, I would try taking like a teaspoon of the tincture at a time, and then build up from there. You got to find out whether or not it's going to work for you. And I did not show a picture of the skirt I made for Stacy, and the reason why, I have a picture, but it's not a very good one, because at the time I was having issues with my good camera. However, there is a video of Stacy wearing that skirt that I made her. If you go look at their Thanksgiving video, she's wearing it. So that's the skirt that I made her, and she will. And the other reason I haven't I did make a little video of it, but I haven't put it up yet, because she's going to be putting one up shortly, so you can watch for that. And I'm actually liking it so much, I'm starting to make one for myself in my spare time. But I already have like 2 more skirt orders, an apron order, and a shawl order. And yeah, and right now I'm working on a sweater for my poor little dog, because when it gets cold, he's so skinny.
I think her and Stacy are kindred spirits, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, we've been on the phone a couple of times and talked for at least an hour. We got quite a bit in common. But anyway, so we're gonna have to get off here in just a couple more minutes. And don't forget, I'm pretty sure Brad and Krista will be on with their tech talk, in the right after us. So don't forget to go over there, and don't forget to check out the homesteadnetwork.com for other shows. I'm sorry, I'm trying to see. Okay, sorry, I was just checking to see if there was any questions for me there before we go. So thanks everyone for coming in, and I think we pretty much covered it all. I hope I answered all the questions this time, or all the ones that I was able to. Again, don't forget to, anything that I cannot answer, you can go find on the web. And that really great book, I linked the book below. I linked the valerian root that I buy below, and a couple of other herb books that I would recommend are in there. And then that herbwisdom.com, and there are some other good herbal pages. I can't remember what they're called. I will try to I'll try to get a list of those, and then maybe give the links to next week, so that she can post those links to those other great herbal web pages for me. So anyway, we'll go ahead and cut it now. I know we have 4 more minutes, but I always tend to go too long. So thanks all for coming in, and for being a part of this with us, a part of our journey, and yeah, I guess we've been saying that a lot, but really it does mean a lot to us. So thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever.